Let us rewind the wheel of time and walk into the early days of human history. The dense jungles, wild animals, harsh weather, and climatic conditions unleashing nature's fury. Survival then was the key issue, and just survival was the main aim in everyone's life. We humans are not the strongest in terms of physical prowess. Definitely, we can't survive extreme of climatic changes. We have no fur, no jaws, no claws. We lack speed. We have no keen sense of smell or vision. Yet, here we are, dominating the earth, living in every possible terrain from sub zero temperatures to the hottest of the deserts. And what's more, we are gearing up for life and settlement in worlds beyond our own planet. We are exploring the space. How did we do this? What got us this far? What was so special in us? Are we special? The remarkable journey of humanity, which scripted our history and shaped our world, was founded on two essential qualities. The first being our ability towards effective communication. And the second was born out of communication, which is our ability to build complex relationships, not just family, but that of social hierarchy. These two qualities are key higher cognitive capacities, which are very unique to humans. Over a period of time, they built our collective intelligence and emotional quotient, which we all possess today. Though we are not physically strong, we have the most evolved and the largest of the brains among any species that ever walked on the surface of our planet. Our brain is the true masterpiece of nature's creation. We have a large surface area of about 2,000 square centimeters, beautifully wrinkled and packed over the core of the brain and placed compactly within our skull. Interestingly, it is the surface of the brain which is responsible for higher cognitive capacities, which means larger the surface of brain, more the intelligence. This is what Mother Nature has given to us. When we concentrate on the surface of the brain, the surface is mapped into various functional zones. We have regions which are exclusively serving a function of a given domain, such as speech areas, vision areas, and areas of thinking. I want to share a very surprising fact here. When we analyze the region of the brain controlling our motor functions, which is our bodily movements, the volume of the brain which controls the entire leg is almost similar to the volume of the brain which controls our thumb and the fingers. And this is similar to the volume of brain which controls our tongue and the lip. This is best depicted in this image, the cortical homunculus man. And this is how the brain sees us. The region of the body with maximum representation in the brain gets all the attention. And this is not a surprise because the thumb and the tongue are two reasons why we stood apart in our journey of humanity. This extra volume of brain is what made all the difference, and it's not the jaws or the claws. The tongue and the lip are speech apparatus which enabled complex verbal communication, while the thumb and the fingers allowed us to make tools and then develop written language, the two gifts of Mother Nature to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a skill of effective communication which has got us this far in our journey. What is communication? Communication, in essence, is an exchange of information. But what we all should learn, hone, and practice is the skill of effective communication, where the exchange information is well received and understood by the audience. Our journey into the realm of communication likely began with gestures and body language, which could convey basic needs and emotions. But over a period of time, with the evolution of our intellect, the need for more intricate and subtle forms of communications developed. Evolution of sign language into verbal language is probably the most significant milestone in the journey of humanity. With verbal communication, we were able to convey complex thoughts, ideas, knowledge, stories, which laid the foundation for cultures and civilization. But the true marvel of human communication lies not in the spoken word, but in the written language. The written language was born out of the necessity to communicate beyond the constraints of space and time. The written language allowed us to record knowledge, ideas, concepts, stories, which could be passed on to the future generations to come. The written word became the bedrock for science, education, and culture. We could build upon the wisdom of our ancestors and expand our horizon. We started documenting history, dividing our past into prehistoric times and after. How different are we today? Today, the majority of the world live in the comfort of developed society and modern science. The speed at which science is taking over our life is enormous. From the first maiden flight at the turn of 20th century to landing on the moon in just 60 years, and now we are talking about supersonic speeds of travel. It's not just travel, even our lives have gotten supersonic. All of us are busy always. We simply don't have enough time. Our life has become a race, much more today than ever. We live in a cusp of transition today, where what is real and what is not in itself is diminishing. What are the priorities and what are not is confusing. To this multidimensional chaos, now we have a very, very interesting twist: artificial intelligence. The AI is enticing, interesting, and all of us are very excited about it. But what is in store for future? Where are we heading to? These questions can't be answered today. But the truth is, we now live in a web of deceit. Our internet is overloaded with information, majority of which are misinformation. The reality is, we live in a very different jungle today. The one that is made of a digital maze and the concrete jungle. Negotiating Mother Nature was a task before, whereas navigating the nature of human minds is the ask today. We are still talking of the same survival skills, though the necessities and needs then were different, while the necessities and desires today are different. Skill of effective communication, which is going to help us to survive even today's dense jungle, which is the digital maze and the concrete jungle. Effective communication involves a lot of soft skills. First and foremost, knowing the audience, understanding the scenario, gauging the sentiments are very important. While in written language, effective communication is when the author gets the reader to see the world through his eyes. The professional world is a different realm altogether. Here, the communication has to be precise, to the point, founded on factual knowledge. Being a neurosurgeon, dealing with pain and emotions, understanding the suffering, frustration, and empathizing with the patients on a daily basis has given deep insight into the philosophy of life. To simplify complex technical scenarios and explaining it to the individual who at a time is at a very high emotional state, be it fear, anxiety, or even the reality of survival, is a very demanding ask. To making them understand and helping them reach a very logical and well-informed decision and choice is effective communication in a neurosurgeon's life. What we realize is, to be a successful doctor, skills and knowledge that we acquire are as important as our ability towards effective communication. This involves replacing fear with courage, anxiety with hope, and faith in a new reality, all of which are conveyed through the body language, the eyes, touch, and finally the words. People often forget the pain which they endured, but they always remember the way we treated them. We helped them deal the ordeal. The 5 domains of effective verbal communication, which all of us have to learn and hone, are first and foremost being active listening. We often rush to respond. Mindful active listening is the key because it sets the stage and helps to connect the rapport. Rapport is the connection. Rapport also depends on our body language. We should understand that the body language is deeply rooted to primitive instincts. Our body language can either engage a conversation or totally turn a conversation off. It's important for us to master the skills of body language. Next comes the clarity of communication. Clarity is trying to be precise, engaging the audience, being concise. And clarity comes with deep understanding of the subject, the knowledge. Finally, the content, which includes language, diction, tone. Keeping a conversation or a communication interesting is a skill, but making it effective is an art. An art which is an essential survival skill which all of us have to learn, sharpen, and master over the period of our life, all throughout. As I conclude, I will share my personal journey. As a school kid, with stuttering and stammering taking over me, with a lot of inferiority complex of not knowing the perfect language, and enormous stage fear. And then while in a professional life, the ask is very demanding, effective communication to the patients. That helped me transform. And transformation can happen to anyone's life at any point of time. It doesn't really matter what others think or comment, as long as we don't judge ourselves, because everyone have their own journey to travel. Thank you.